Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of the Match Report hosted by 3 Midfield. I am your co-host, Kojo. Cahill will be here very, very soon. He just come home late from work, unfortunately, but he will be here to lend his expertise in hosting. But other than that, I am here, Man United fan Kojo, as you all know, unfortunately. And I am joined by two people who are my rivals, direct rivals, and they're living life no matter what, which makes this even more painful for me to host right now. But we're going to leave their teams till the end because that was the big game of the weekend, but we'll introduce them now anyway. So we'll start with Liverpool first. Daniel, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing wonderfully well. Your tears are so sweet. Yeah, I'm doing very well. I love the way you started it, but yeah, I'm doing good.
Unprovoked. I actually gave you praise, and that's how you keep. All right, cool. Say less. And of course, we are joined by another host from Never Foul, part of the Feed the Goat podcast. That is Mr. Sam. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. All good. Still working out how I feel about yesterday, but yeah, I know I definitely enjoyed the Everton game on Saturday. So,
of course,
adding to what Daniel was saying there.
Of course, he did. I mean, I definitely didn't, but anyway. So we'll get to your team soon. But let's start with Tottenham first. They went away to Aston Villa and came away with a 4-0 win. Goals courtesy of a hat-trick from Son and the other one from Dejan Kulusevski. We'll start with Sam first. Sam, Conte has now just come. He's coming to the club. He's made a lot of changes in terms of how they play, the formation. Are we starting to see a bit of a fruition coming out from his football and what he's trying to do?
I think so. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Conte and what he's done so far. I think I was surprised Spurs managed to get him. I think only really through their director of football did they manage to stand a chance and bring in a genuine world-class manager who's at sort of the top of his game right now. They did have a bit of a positive start when he first came in, and then that was sort of followed by a bit of a dip and just some horrendous inconsistency, really, losing away to Burnley 1-0 and losing Middlesbrough in the cup and a few other shock results as well. But I think they've finally found that consistency they were looking for. They still look a little bit wobbly defensively. I think Villa in this game could have got a couple of goals. The Reece did well, but it's their forward line which has suddenly come alive. And I think in 2022, this calendar year, no team has scored more goals in the Premier League than Spurs. So that front three has clicked. And I mean, Kane and Son were a handful enough, but now they've added Kulusevski, who I think is quite well suited to this league. Very direct, 6 foot plus winger who can run. And yeah, it suits Kane down to the ground to have him and Son ahead of him.
And Daniel, you obviously had or still do have rather a front three that has been very, very strong for your team. When you look at Spurs' front three, do you see a front three that now has the potential to maybe give them a little more purpose going forward, a bit more hope in terms of maybe trying to pursue further success?
100%. I feel like Kane and Son, in terms of the quality that they have, they can propel any team to a title, just them alone, because they're world-class players. Son, second highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Harry Kane, yeah, he had a poor start to the Premier League, but you've seen how he's played in 2022. He's just showing that he's a world-class striker. And Kulusevski, like Sam said, he's adapted to this league straight away. And that surprised me because at Juventus earlier on this season, he wasn't getting much love from Allegri. So I thought, Kulusevski is going to come into this league. He might do well because he is a talented player, but it'll take a while. But he's just adapted very well. And I feel like they're the main reason why Spurs are now the favourites for the top four. And long may it continue, because I want Conte in the Champions League. I feel like Conte wasn't really given a fair chance. I feel like with modern day football, everybody wants a manager that plays out from the back, plays possession football. But Conte is showing that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
What a time for me to come in whilst Daniel fucking praising Spurs and praising Kulusevski and praising Conte for being a boring football manager. All right, then.
And that's, my friends, is the voice of the host, Mr. K.
Now, how are you guys doing? Sorry for my tardiness. I do apologize, but bloody hell, just blowing smoke up Spurs' ass because they're winning now. Get out of town, bro. Get out of town. So what will we discuss apart from Spurs? Disgusting.
Oh, well, I mean, so far it's just about the front three. If that's it's got potential to go further with obviously Spurs. Let's ask you. Actually,
doesn't, but cool.
Let's ask you about your thoughts on the game actually, because Aston Villa bombarded them in the first half. They pretty much were the better side for the first 45 minutes, but in the second half, I don't know what Gerrard said to them, but it definitely wasn't inspirational, which is what he's known for.
These new managers and their halftime team talks got a shade of Arteta in him. I don't know, man. It was just one of those games where Son decided he wanted to take it over. You decided he wanted to show up, and boy, did he show up a hat-trick. His first goal was fantastic, man. It really was. To rapidly turn that quickly and smash into the bottom corner on his weaker side, that was an amazing goal. And in terms of the second half performance, man, they just opened up and Aston Villa couldn't handle it. Harry Kane, I think the takeaways that Harry Kane flick on header, that was pretty much sublime. It was the Harry Kane and Son show once again. And I'm going to end it with long may it not continue. I don't want it to continue. You need to stop it right now because we need to get to the top 4 this season. And they're ruining it with their world classness. Harry Kane more than Son, but yeah. That's my thoughts on the game.
There you go. That's beautiful, man. That was beautiful to hear, Kale. That was beautiful. Praising your side. That's beautiful. All right. Well, you can take over from here. Which game should we go to next? Should we go Chelsea? Should we go United? Should we go City, Liverpool? Should we go Arsenal?
So I'm gonna get up the games so I can have them on my phone so I can.
Kale, why did you say world class Son more than Kane more than Son?
Because Harry Kane is world class and Son isn't.
Bang.
Fair enough. What makes you say that? I agree with you, but in terms of if you just look at numbers purely, Son has been doing it for quite a while now. He's the second highest goal scorer, and he could get the golden boot. He's always up there in terms of goal scoring, some of the best players in the league. So, what makes him not world class, in your opinion?
His inconsistencies. Yes, he's doing it now, but he suffers from the case of Eden Hazard. I'd say to be fair to Eden Hazard, he was at times world class during his run at Chelsea, but you have to push on and you push on forward. And you have to push your team forward. Yes, we can all look back at the Champions League run, which obviously Son took them to the Champions League final, but where was he in the final? You could also argue where was Kane in the final, but Kane from time to time. Kane was injured. Exactly. There you go. Kane was injured. And he came in cold. But Kane has been consistent. He's been scoring big goals throughout the years. He's multiple golden boots right now. I think he's second in England's highest goal scorer. So yeah, Harry Kane. If Harry Kane goes to any team in the top 2 run-ins, they win the league and potentially Champions League. If Son goes, I don't think it's the same. That's the difference.
Son's streaky, isn't he? He's quite a streaky player. Mm-hmm. He's back in a hot streak right now, but he was in my fantasy team for a few weeks, and I can tell you, he's very, very frustrating at times. Very frustrating.
I think that's the thing with Son, isn't it? It's one of them ones where you look at him, you just think, all right, you've got all the ability to do it, and yes, you have bad games here and there, but I think for a player of that level, you ask for a 7 out of 10 from him throughout the whole season, and if he can produce higher in games and have the occasional 4 or 5 out of 10, then you're good. But he has his streak of 8 and above, and then he has a streak of 4 or less, and it's too frustrating to watch. But he's a good player, man. He's a good player, but he's just not world class, man. And he also was missing like Kane in the finals, but no one mentioned it because he's not the star of the show. Kane is the star of the show.
There we go. Have we spoken about Manchester United yet?
No, we're 9 minutes in. We just got to talk.
We're 9 minutes in. That was the first game. I love to see it, man. Because on the One Football app, they don't sponsor us, by the way, but that's the app I use. Everton. were first, and they beat Manchester United 1-0. Was it Anthony Gordon? Anthony Gordon
Yes.
got a wonderful deflected goal off of who else? Who else, Kojo?
Who else?
Your
Who else?
friend,
El
your
Capitan.
captain,
El Capitan.
your centre back, Harry Maguire. To be fair, you know what? I'm starting to feel sorry for Harry Maguire. I don't know if Daniel and Sam will agree with me. I'm starting to feel sorry for him because every time something happens, it always ends up being him. And it's not like he plays bad every single week. But when it goes bad, it just keeps on going bad. When you say so, Daniel.
Daniel.
He has frozen.
Yeah, definitely. I do feel sorry for him to an extent. I feel like if he has social media, then I'll definitely feel sorry for him because I feel like a lot of things now are not his fault or get blamed on him. I saw a lot of tweets being like, "Oh, it's Harry Maguire again." In terms of United, what can you have done for the goal? It hit him and it went in, but that's what happens when you cost 80 million. That's what happens when you're the captain of Manchester United and you don't live up to it. It's unfortunate. I don't think that's how it should be, but that's how it is. I feel like United could help him. I feel like they should strip him of the captaincy. I don't feel like he should be the captain of Manchester United, but it's going to be peak from here on in because 80 million, everybody's going to push that against him. But I think United have bigger problems than Harry Maguire. I'm not going to lie. They just gave Bruno Fernandes a new contract, and there was in my opinion, there was no reason to give him a new contract. Like, you can go through the United from 1 to 11, and it's a problem almost everywhere.
I mean, Sam, he says strip him of the captaincy. I personally believe it's a bit too. He's a bit too deep now. It's a bit too far. If they should have stripped him, they should have stripped him after the incident in Greece.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in some ways, I do feel sorry for him because I think he's set up to fail really in a lot of ways. You know, he's not good enough to be an £8 million centre back. He's not good enough to be the captain of Man United. It probably a sort of a damning indictment of the squad or maybe the characters within it that he got the captaincy the second he arrived. I think, he's definitely nowhere near as bad as people make out, but there's incidents like the one at Everton where that's just pure unlucky, really. Any defender can deflect a shot like that into their goal, but because it's him. You know, even me watching it, I'm just thinking, it's Harry Maguire again. But it's not really his. You know, it's not really his fault. It's not the sole reason why United lost. There's probably 5 other reasons which played a bigger part in that. But it's just the way that he is, and like Daniel was saying, how social media sort of created this narrative around him. I don't think there's anywhere that's going to go. So I think there's no easy direction to take him because if they strip him of the captaincy, his confidence will be even lower than it is now, if that's even possible. I don't know how they're going to sell him because of just the asset that he is, what they brought him for, who's going to buy him. So, a massive sort of conundrum for United to work out moving forward, really, what to do with him.
Gucci Everton. Right, Coach?
That's the team. That's the name I've been given Man United, and then Everton came themselves and tucked Man United to bed. Where now I've been told we're Primark Everton.
There we go.
There you go. Life comes at you very, very fast. Now look, Matic gave the ball away very, very poor for the first goal, and then he was shoved aside by Iwobi far too easily as well, which created a space for Anthony Gordon. So look, that's where the goal came from in the first place. You know, deflections happen. I am very harsh when it comes to body positioning. You know, when the ball's coming at you, I don't want you to like sort of shy your body away a little bit, or I wait to come. It's difficult to do it, but you got to almost face the ball head on because you want the ball to be going the other way. You don't want it to be going away, which you don't know. You have no control over. Unfortunately, that deflection happened, but he wasn't the worst player on the pitch. But I think it's very, very old school, but it's just a lack of effort from Man United players, man. There's no hunger on the pitch. There's no drive to try and win second balls, third balls. There is no cohesion in the midfield whatsoever. You know, you wherever the partnership is, midfielders always tend to spread apart, either sideways or one going forward, one going back, and not knowing what they're doing. It's very, very easy to pass through Man United's midfield, as in you play one ball and it's game over. You're already creating a chance. It was just far too easy for Everton. And considering how poor Everton have been this season, considering how poor they were against Burnley, for Man United to go to Goodison Park, and Man United have gone to Goodison Park in the past where Everton haven't been so great, but it's a difficult place to go to when they really want it. But they started the game super nervous. Everton didn't look like they wanted it, and then they grew in confidence as they realized Man United were there for the taking. And when Gordon scored, it became very easy to also defend against United. Michael Keane had a shocker in previous weeks, and then he had one of his best games of the season against a forward line that should be doing a lot more against him. Marcus Rashford, again, inefficient. Ronaldo, again, didn't do much. He tried to press here and there, but it was worthless.
Didn't do much. Smacked the kid's phone out of his hand. Didn't do much.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. And I'm talking about in game. And then, Sancho. I can't really get onto Sancho because Man United fans kind of had a misconception of what they wanted from Sancho. They wanted him to be a direct right winger, and I'm thinking, if anyone watched him at Dortmund or even the times he's played for England, he's very much a close 1-2 type player, give and go. The little spaces operating between there, link up with the forward man or the wing back, whoever is there enough. It was just another lackluster, very, very embarrassing Man United performance. Everton deserved the 3 points. And I'll keep saying this. We need to sell 13 of these men. And then that's only for one window. Replace them with 10 or more. And then sell another 12. That's 25. But that's how much I've had enough of them. Ronaldo's got one more year left, and then he's leaving anyway, so that's fine. He can be part of the last 12. That's him. But other than that, this club has a long way to go before they can, so no matter who the manager is next, so it's a long catch up to any of.
Let's discuss who that potential manager could be. It seems like Daniel and Sam that Ten Hag is the man that Manchester United want, and I think half of their fan base want him, and the other half want Pochettino. But do you guys think he's the right man to take United forward, if it is him in the end?
I think that's a tough question to answer because, firstly, I'm not going to come here and pretend like I watched the Dutch league. I don't. Yeah. What I know about Ten Hag is what I've seen in the Champions League. His Ajax team play really good football. I feel like the issue with United, and it's been like this since probably the Glazers came, football is not the number one priority at Manchester United upstairs. They just want to make money. They just want to tell the investors in the quarterly meetings, we have this many social media followers, we have this many followers on TikTok, we get these much engagement. So if you don't have a board that backs you and football is not the number one priority, you're going to get so many signings that don't make sense. Like Kojo just said, United need to replace half the squad. But let's say United do get rid of half the squad, but then they bring in 13 players that don't match Ten Hag's style of play. It doesn't matter who comes in. Pep Guardiola can be the manager. Jurgen Klopp can be the manager. So Alex Ferguson could come back. United are not going to go forward. So I feel like Pochettino, Eric Ten Hag, it doesn't really matter. They just need to make sure that they back the style of play till the end. Give him 3 years, see what happens after that 3 years, and let's see what happens. Don't be getting players like Sancho, Ronaldo. Look at Sancho, look at Ronaldo, look at Rashford, look at Martial when he was here. These are all different profiles of attackers. You can't think that these guys are gonna be put onto the pitch and actually perform. It doesn't make sense. You look at City's front three, look at our front three. The front three Pep plays from game to game, the front three that Klopp plays from game to game. You can always see a plan. They always complement each other. You can't say that with Manchester United. So with Ten Hag, I think brilliant manager from what I've seen, but if upstairs remains the same, in 3 years we're going to be saying the same thing.
Sam, he's asking for, I imagine, what I saw from the quotes, he's asking for complete control over transfers and stuff like that. So, what Papilo said is quite damning. It's quite truthful as well. But if he was to come, do you think that they'll give him that sort of backing, which they haven't given Jose Mourinho, which they haven't given Van Gaal, so on and so forth?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing for United is to give Ten Hag some sort of environment that he can do well, and he's done brilliantly with this Ajax side, but it's completely tailor-made for him. You know, if he was to go for City with the infrastructure there, I feel like he's a great coach to fit in a good infrastructure like Ajax. He's got Van der Sar above him. He did have Overmars above him recently, and they were a really good team together. Built something really, really effective over at Ajax, which they stems from their academy as well, and it just all fits together nicely. United is, you couldn't be any further from that. There's no cohesion anywhere across the club on the footballing side, so they're going to have to make a lot of changes to give him the environment to work in. And at the moment, I'm not sure they can do that straight away. And that starts with the playing squad. I don't know what their director of football, Richard Arnold, I don't know what his kind of ideas are in terms of playing style. I think Ten Hag has spoken about bringing several coaches with him. I think Steve McLaren was one of them as well, mentioned, and a couple of others as well. So, yeah, who knows, eh? Who knows?
The king is coming back. Steve is back. He's great as an assistant. What are you talking about? Why are you looking so down, Kojo, man?
I'm not trying to get back to the days when I was 7 years old, because after that, he's done niche. So,
hey, he did at Middlesbrough, man. Middlesbrough, he did a fantastic job.
He's got a mean Dutch accent. He's got a good Dutch accent. You got to give him that.
Oh yeah, and he's wonderful with an umbrella as well at Wembley.
There we go.
From there.
Anyway, Kojo, what's your thoughts on the potential of Ten Hag?
Again, it's a case of, look, if you don't back your manager to do what he needs to do, you're setting him up for failure as well. I went back to Mourinho's situation when he finished second after City won the league, got 100 points against the Centurions. He finished second and he's asking for centre backs because I think everyone can admit here it was much more the De Gea show that season than anybody else. So he wants someone to be more. He wants more protection of the back line. Funny enough, he went Harry Maguire, but that would have been a £5 million Harry Maguire. So that would have been a squad player. That would have been less pressure. That would have been someone that's going to fit into the team and just gradually grown at United. Instead, obviously now you have the current situation. But the main thing is he finished second and he wanted to push forward. The year before he got 2 trophies, you had to back him, and they didn't back him in the window. And that's when obviously Mourinho started throwing his tantrum. Ten Hag, I think you guys said it perfectly. Ajax has catered to him. I think the role of managers has really changed. I don't think managers will be successful, and I can go to even back in the day as well, but managers more now than ever will not be successful if the club does not throw everything behind them. That's the be all and end all of that. And I've said this before. I don't know if you guys will agree or disagree. I feel like City and Liverpool, to use them as example, have done what United were doing in the past. They had a manager that they believed in. They had a manager that they thought, you know what, he'll get us the bag in every way. Win more trophies with him. We'll do many things with him. We trust him. He's got a great track record. Why not use what he wants in the window? You got a man behind him to back him. That was David Gill, besides Ferguson. Anytime he needed a player, did he have some duds? Absolutely. Who doesn't? By the end of the day, those players that you bring in, most of them bring you trophies. And Liverpool have that infrastructure. It's perfect for them. Klopp has no worries. That's why they have the original front three. But now, for the future, they have Jota, Diaz, and soon to be Fabio Carvalho. That's really coming in motion already. And with City, Pep first year struggled to finish fourth, but he did. Some players didn't work out, so he shifted them out, bring more players in, and then they went from fourth to first. That's how it works with infrastructure. With Ten Hag, as much as he wants the control thing, I think if they say yes, we'll give it to you, and then he says yes to the job, that's going to change after day 2. That's what I feel like, because I don't think United are an honest club. So, and if they were to give him full control, I think they would have said yes a long time ago. For it to be delayed this long, that means they're really battling hard to not give this guy full control. So I don't know whether it's him, Pochettino. I don't know. Bring back Sir Alex if you want to. Like Dan said, until you give the manager literally the opportunity to succeed or fail by himself, it's going to be same old with United. So I'm not excited about anyone coming in. I'm more excited about people leaving.
Kojo, because you follow United more closely than me, what's Rangnick's role actually going to be next year? Because I feel like what happened to Rangnick next year will actually tell me if United want to be serious or not. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel there's no reason why Richard Arnold and Dan Fletcher are above a person like Ralph Rangnick when it comes to that role. They don't have the experience that he does.
I think Man United for the last two names that you mentioned, I think Man United are just trying to do like a keep the United culture kind of things. So that's why Fletcher's in there. I don't know what experience Fletcher has in that. I don't know his CV. All I know is his CV is played for Man United and then he tried to become a coach. I don't know if he's got the qualifications for that. Quite frankly, right now, I can't talk on that. Rangnick's role, they're saying he's going to be a consultant. Now, what that means is, pardon?
Is this Deloitte about consultant?
I'd wear, I think, look, they're talking about him helping, identify players with the manager and all that. So it's sort of almost like a mini director of football role, but they're not giving him that full control. And that's why they made it a consultant, because director of football means he has pretty much the main say in transfers along with the manager. And they're not giving him that long-term security is the word. So, honestly, I honestly feel like as well, he's going to come into the role for about 6 months and then say, I need to go. So I have no faith in that either. Hopefully United can prove me wrong, but right now they're not doing anything to prove me wrong at all.
I guess we got to talk about Arsenal.
I thought you wanted to talk about the phone situation.
Do you? Well, what else can we say about it? He smacked a kid's phone out of his hand. What a crybaby, man.
I know. What I'm going to say is this, though, yeah? Right. I'm not condoning it because he shouldn't have done that. That's foolish. However, I'm going to say this, and this is to everybody. At some point, if a guy's pissed off after losing the game and you are effing and jeffing in front of his face and wagging your phone in front of his face, a man will switch. Humans will switch. But I'm not condoning that. Regardless, Ronaldo shouldn't have reacted. He should have just walked off. Because he's someone that's more used to criticism than anybody else in that squad. So he should say. Yeah,
surely he's seen that. Surely he's seen that 100,000 times before.
Exactly. I remember Madrid,
and then he offered the Everton fan tickets to United game.
His PR team definitely wrote that caption.
He said, right where you want, man. If you come to the game, he'll come to the game, man. No, look, he shouldn't have done it, man. At Real Madrid, he had all that success, and they still found ways to boo him and chase him in his car and all that. So this one to me is a lot lighter than that, but people still have limits. If it was not Ronaldo, it would have been someone else. But yeah, he shouldn't have done it.
You say a man will switch, but you're acting like he's not 37 years old, man. He's a grown man. If he was 21, 22, 23, 24, fair play. But he's a grown man, and like you said, he's experienced a lot worse than a kid effing and jeffing and wagging his phone in his face. Bruv, grow up.
I agree. But we have also learned in this world that there are Mandem that reach the age of 40 and they still haven't grown up. So it's one of them ones where it's just like, he done it. It's happened now, isn't it? But hey, listen, that phone it was all in. It was all over the place. He's like he's an Android. The battery came out, so you can put it back in. If it was an iPhone,
there we go. Android supremacy right here, man. Let's go to Arsenal. Sadly, 2-1 to Brighton. Goals from Trossard. Of course, there's a goal from Trossard. Mwepu and Odegaard scored one back and celebrated like he just won the game. There's so much to talk about in this game. Let's start with, before the match even kicked off, let's start off with the lineup. Because if I'm anybody in that Brighton side and I see Granit Xhaka playing left back, I'm licking my lips and I'm thinking, yep, this is the game that I'm going to turn up, and this is the game I'm going to absolutely dominate. Wouldn't you agree, Daniel?
Oh, 100%. And I feel like it's funny because I've been up and down with Mikel Arteta. When he first came, I thought he did a brilliant job. Last season, I thought that it was quite a poor season. This season, he was a bit shaky, but I thought ever since the Everton game, he's been absolutely brilliant. And I thought you were the favourites for the top 4. The thing that's annoyed me with him is he's gone back to doing what made him bad. He's just overcomplicating things. Granit Xhaka left back. The only reason you should play him left back is if absolutely everybody's injured. You bought Nuno Tavares if Kieran Tierney is injured. Yes, he had a poor cameo against Crystal Palace, but are we going to pretend like Lacazette has been good all season? And he's sticking with him week in, week out. So I feel like Mikel Arteta, like playing Xhaka left back, just completely overcomplicated things. Playing Lokonga as a DM with 2, let's call them 10s in central midfield, you're just setting him up to fail. If Arsenal don't make top 4, he only has himself to blame, because I feel like that loss was very avoidable. Very, very avoidable. But long way to go. But I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That first goal, Xhaka was even at left back. But you can't blame him because he's not a left back. Like, that's not his position.
See, yeah, like no, like bro, if he ran forward like he was playing midfield, and he was trying, because he done that last week as well, and he was playing midfield. And the reason why Crystal Palace scored their first goal is because he charged and he pressed like a headless chicken by himself, leaving so much space for Palace to play a simple ball through the middle. And in this game against Brighton, he charges into midfield, the ball goes over unnecessarily, by the way, ball goes over the top. And on the right-hand side, and it's a simple pass into the box. And Trossard is an amazing finish. But if he actually just stuck in position, stayed in position, it makes it a lot harder and a lot more difficult. And if you're playing left-back and you're not comfortable playing left-back, all you need to do is just stay in your position. And it makes it a lot more harder. It keeps the shape of the side, and it makes it a lot more harder for teams to break down. So I'm not here giving Granit Xhaka a pass. I'm tired of Arsenal fans giving this man a pass. It's been happening for like 2 years now. He's dead. He needs to go. And I'm tired of hearing this man's name. I'm tired of seeing him in an Arsenal shirt, because he keeps on making these same mistakes, costing Arsenal the same points, the same games, and it's tiring. It's exhausting. And I'm hearing the praise because he gives you a 6 out of 10 once in a blue moon. It's boring, bruv. Get out of the team. Anyway, I'll calm down now. I've calmed down a bit. Sam,
get it off your chest.
I've got it off my chest, man. But man, what Arteta was your guy. Let's keep it 100. He was Everton's and Manchester City's assistant coach, and it looked like it was working out for a while. But like Daniel said, it was just these moments where Lokonga playing centre mid after not playing for like half a season, and Granit Xhaka at left back. It's these mistakes that are going to cost us in the top 4, aren't they?
Lacazette up top as well.
Well,
who else is
Daniel? I've stopped. Don't let me start again, please. Go.
Yeah, I find it so difficult actually to judge Arsenal right in this moment now, because 2 weeks ago when they went away at Villa and put in a pretty solid performance really to get that over the line, decent away win, another clean sheet. They were out in 4th, and you're looking at it and looking at their run. I think they'd win like 6 away games on the bounce or something like that as well. And I'm thinking that Arteta's, done quite well, actually. I think Arsenal have given him time. They've backed him. He's brought in some players that seem to have been doing well. Maybe a new spine of the team with Ramsdale and White and Gabriel, and Partey was starting to play really well. And I'm looking at that Villa game and they're in 4th. I'm thinking I expected Arsenal to be, 5th or 6th at best this season. And they're in 4th. Brilliant season so far. 2 weeks later, and they lose back-to-back games to Palace and Brighton. Tierney out injured, I think, is a really big blow. Partey out injured as well. And all of a sudden, you're looking at their season. If they don't, if they do finish 5th or 6th and don't get top 4, out the cups early, no real big wins against the big sides still this season, unless you count Spurs at the Emirates. And they've got a difficult running as well now to try and get the ground back on Spurs. They've got Spurs away in itself, which would be difficult. They've got Chelsea away as well to come. They've got United at home 48 hours, I think, or a few days after that. which might not be a tough game, but it's a big game. We'll call it a big game still. Not as big as it was 20 years ago, but it's still pretty tough.
I said still, all right then.
So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how it goes with Arsenal. But I'm finding it very difficult to judge their season right now. I think for Arsenal fans, they're going to feel very down after the last two results. Was it going as good as people were saying? Probably not. Is it as bad as people are saying now? Probably not. It's probably somewhere in the middle.
I do agree with that, but bloody hell, man, it is frustrating. Go, Joe. Brighton, 7 games, no wins. Rock up to the Emirates, and then they blow us away like nothing happened. And then you get messages in the group chats calling for a Graham Potter supremacy. Not having it. But anyway, what's your thoughts on the game?
For everyone that's listening, that wasn't me that done it. That was the third member of Free Midfield. But we move. Anyway, look, they hadn't won in 7. In those 7 games, they had scored 1 goal and then
1 goal, bruv.
They had doubled.
Scored 2.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Look, I think the second goal was beautiful, by the way. Don't get me wrong. The second goal was stunning. But it was so easy to play through Arsenal. And they identified what was the main weak point straight away. Xhaka, left back. He's even the liability in his actual position anyway. So at left back, that's even more of a problem. Cedric at right back. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Another one.
I cry about Wan-Bissaka, bro. I'm so sorry. Cedric is terrifying to watch as a footballer. He's actually horrible to watch. He doesn't seem to have a clue defensively. Going forward, he tries to play a couple of passes, but when it gets to the point where you need to whip a ball in or make the right decision, his decision is always a 2 out of 10. And that's what they identified straight away. So they always came down the wing. Because when they went down the middle, I think Gabriel was a bit Ben White was a bit shaky in the game, but I think he was trying to compensate for what was happening on the right side with Cedric, and that's where he had that struggle. But Brian scored 2 good goals. I mean, taken away from how bad the defending was, the goals were actually very, very good. A very good finish from Trossard, first time. The first time finish from, I can't remember his name now. I don't want to butcher it.
Liverpool.
Yeah, thank you, Mwepu. Lovely finish. The play was lovely, but the first time finish from there, considering it's a half volley, to keep control over that ball is fantastic. So it's a good goal. But Arsenal have lost Tierney and Partey. That's 2 players. And don't get me wrong, they are 2 very key players to Arsenal, but that cannot be the reason why they start to crumble like this. Because 2 losses in a row, and the manner of those losses, no, it's not acceptable. 3-0 and, was it 3-1? Was it 3-1 or 3-0 at Palace?
3-0.
3-0 and 2-1 at home to Brighton. Not good. And that's not good omen for the rest of the games. Look, I was doing even this about Man United, but as bad as Man United as well,
Ronaldo scored a hat trick.
It might.
Ronaldo scored a hat trick.
History as well. Look, Arteta's got a lot of big decisions to make because even Lacazette hasn't scored since December.
4 shots on target since Christmas.
Since December, that is appalling.
Not goals, 4 shots on target.
And his last goal from open play was October.
That's appalling. Sorry, that's I understand. Not even understand. I kind of get the Aubameyang situation, but it's much more worth keeping Aubameyang than keeping someone that doesn't know how to find the back in the net in any
paying his wages to ball out in Barcelona, potential win a European champion trophy.
Yep,
and
paid his wages and paying him 7 million on top of that. Yeah, it's bad.
But we saved money in it.
so
I'm not gonna lie, Kale. I actually agreed with the decision to get rid of Aubameyang.
Okay, yeah, but fam, I'm tired. Like, yeah, I know. Like, I get where you're coming from, but Arteta's iron fist is quite soft when it comes to certain players. Granit Xhaka, for instance, Lacazette, for instance, Cedric as well, for instance. But it's strong with players with any sort of character and any sort of attitude. So you've completely replaced every and any character in the team, which like I said, gives the team character, gives the team a bit of flair, a bit of passion, a bit of fight, a bit of drive, and replace them with a whole or just a bunch of yes men. Why?
Yeah.
Why? To make your job easier? No. These are the challenges. You got to take these flair players and mold them into your system and make them adapt and work for you. And that they're the players that are going to get you the goals. They're the players that are going to give you the 9 out of 10 performances. Not these guys like Lacazette, not these guys like Cedric, not these guys like Xhaka, Aubameyang, Guendouzi, Pepe even. Like the partnership Pepe and Aubameyang had during his first half a season where he won the FA Cup. It was amazing. But both of these players are now in the fringes. Aubameyang's left, and Pepe's, if Arteta stays, I'm guaranteed he's going to go. We don't even know if Saliba's going to come back. Can you tell me, honestly, that Saliba doesn't get in any team over Gabriel and Ben White? You can't tell me that. Even though I've never seen an Arsenal shirt, you can't tell me that because I can guarantee you he's better than both of them. Guarantee you. I don't even watch him, but I can guarantee you he's better than both of them.
But to play not even to play devil's advocate, we said earlier on about how United should back the manager, about how Liverpool and City have backed the manager. With the whole Arteta getting rid of Guendouzi, Aubameyang, Pepe, that's Arsenal backing the manager. And with the only one for me personally that I don't understand is Nicola Pepe, because I don't feel that other players should be coming on ahead of him when the front three are doing bad. But with Guendouzi, from what I've read, that ill discipline, if that happened at Liverpool, if that happened at Manchester United, if that happened at City, Kojo, me, and Sam, we wouldn't be having that from our players. So I can understand why Guendouzi left. With Saliba, I've never watched him play, so I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to come here and lie. And with Aubameyang, I think the only reason why I feel that decision might look a bit funny is because you got rid of Aubameyang, but Lacazette is still there. But I'm not going to come here and pretend like Aubameyang, the 18 months before he left, was good, because he wasn't good.
No, he wasn't.
If we're being honest, he got chances, big chances, and he was missing them. So I can kind of understand, but the Iron Fist is very selective.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Aubameyang, I do still think it was the right decision. The wrong decision was not, bringing in any extra depth for Spurs in that position, or maybe trying. I mean, I think they did try early for Vlahovic, but if you're not going to get him, maybe go into a plan B, and then you're left with Lacazette and Nketiah. But I do think getting rid of Aubameyang was the right decision. I feel like the squad came together a bit more after that, and like I said, I don't think it's as bad as it probably feels at the moment after losing both those games. I still feel like Arteta is on the right track at the moment. The end of the season could be pivotal. It might feel like if Arsenal don't get top four, that it's all gone horribly wrong. But I still feel like there's some positives to take out the season, whichever way it goes from here. I always hear a lot of Arsenal fans calling for Pepe to start, but why would you start him over Saka? Because Saka's your best player. It's just unfortunate that Pepe's come to a team where the star man, the star boy, the guy from the academy happens to be unbelievable. He's in his position. So Pepe might as well go, because he's not going to get a start unless he wants to play on the left wing, I think.
I do agree with you that Saka's importance in this team is much more in favor of Arteta's plan than what Pepe does. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not. But to sit here and say that Saka's not been bad in some games, like I understand he's young.
Yeah, he's 20.
And he's 21. I understand that, but
I think he's still your best player.
I think so too. But the simple fact of the matter is, sometimes, especially when you're young, you need to know that you can be dropped at any point.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's bigger than the team. So, and Pepe has, in my eyes, he's done nothing wrong. Yes, he's not been worth the £72 million, but there's a whole bunch of players in Manchester United side, in City side, and Liverpool side that aren't exactly worth the amount of money that we've spent on them. Yeah. But it just comes to show that when it's at Arsenal, we just don't want to use him, and when it's Arteta, he just doesn't want to use him. It comes down to Arteta not liking him. And if that's the case, then fair enough. He's the manager. He's going to make decisions. But if the decisions backfire, which they look like they have done, then everybody's going to be looking at you funny. And I understand that in the position that we are, nobody at Arsenal or any fans would have imagine that we'd be in the position that we are now. But to be so close, and for the silly mistakes that you were making a few months prior to be occurring again, is just frustrating. It's really annoying, and I don't want this. I don't want the wheels to fall off because you can't seem to fix your own mistakes. That's my 2 cents on it. But anyway, and we have to move on because that rant did, I think it felt like it took 10 minutes, but it is what it is. Southampton 0, Chelsea 6. Now, if anybody lets Timo Werner score twice, I personally think they deserve to get relegated, but they're not that close to the relegation zone, so they're going to survive, Kojo. But 6-0. This isn't the first time they got absolutely battered as well.
No, this is starting to become a bit of football heritage. Shout out Mourinho. Yeah, they just get battered everywhere they go, whether it's home or away, 9-0, 9-0, 6-0. It's becoming a bit of when Premier League starts to do Premier League years, so it's finished. It'll become they lost again by a heavy margin. 3 goals less this time, but it was 6 at home to Chelsea. It's all just poor, man. Chelsea just absolutely tore them to shreds from start to finish. It was too easy. Gaps were open everywhere. Werner, who in the Bundesliga had all the space in the world to run into, Southampton gave him that. Hassan Hutel, that's why I criticized Hassan Hutel a couple of months ago, because he's another manager that I understand. You have your philosophy, you stick to it. I'm not telling you to deviate away from it, but sometimes you have to try and change up a little bit, considering your opposition and how weak your team is in comparison to them. Especially when you lose Broha, who's obviously on loan from Southampton, Chelsea as well. So that's a key man you've lost. But Chelsea just bullied them from start to finish, man. It was far too easy. Ward-Prowse, again, doing nothing because all he is a set piece guy. So on the floor, he's lost. So yeah, it was just that agenda's gonna keep running. So he was just he was torn to shreds. It was too easy, far too easy. I have nothing more to say than that. Far too easy for Chelsea. They deserve to win 6-0. They march on.
They march on, Sam, but where do they march on to? I mean, it's a very difficult tie to come back from in the Champions League, and this year hasn't exactly gone to plan for Chelsea.
Hala Madrid.
Yeah, no, they've definitely tailed off. I did think it'd be a 3-horse race right from the start. It's turned out it's just going to be 2, and Chelsea are kind of in this weird position now in the league where they're kind of playing carefree football, really, because they're not going to finish below 3rd, and they're not going to finish above 3rd. So they're kind of stuck in this middle ground, aren't they? Really. But yeah, I think they've obviously got a huge game tomorrow night in Madrid. They've got what is actually probably a huge game now on Sunday as well against Crystal Palace to get into the FA Cup final, just so they've got something to kind of something meaningful to play for, really. And they kind of played like the shackles were off a little bit in this game. Southampton obviously helped them with that, just with the way that they play. And they're just they're a strange team, Southampton, because I do think they punch well above their weight with their budget, the players that they sign. I think they've got a clear philosophy as a club where they buy young players and try and let them develop. And I think the manager's really good for that. But yeah, every now and then, usually after a decent run like they've had since sort of Christmas, really, it's tailed off again, and it ends in an absolute battering at some point. And it's happened again. I mean, they gave us a really good game in both games this season. We haven't beaten Southampton in the league this season. They played really well against United at Old Trafford as well. And I think they're actually lucky when they played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge as well in that game. So they've put in some really good performances the way they're playing. But when they don't get it right and they're 5% off and the press isn't quite at it, then they just get carved through way too easily. And yeah, the mismatch in quality then just becomes really evident. And they really struggled in this game massively.
They did indeed. Kojo, no irons this weekend?
Irons?
Yeah. A bit laboured, that one. Yeah, a bit defeated because they got absolutely battered by Brentford, no?
They got popped 2-0, yeah, I know. They deserved it as well. They got absolutely destroyed from minute 1 to minute 90. And that's as simple as it gets. Tony and Mbembo, the partnership, did its thing. I think Zuma got injured, so that's a bit peak for them as well on West Ham side. Look, West Ham will never get in top 4. I think I even said that, but obviously wanted that rather them than anybody else, because Man United are definitely not getting it. So that was my stance. But no, they deserve to lose. Brentford as well is key for them because now they're starting to get a bit of results now. So it's just moving them away from the relegation zone. There's no stress there. They're feeling comfortable. They're feeling safe. And they're going to get more points than your Burnleys, your Watfords, your Norwiches, your Evertons. So, yeah, they're in a good position and they deserve the win. And it's good to actually see them continue on because they beat Chelsea, 4-1? But in the past, where they've had some good results, they've sort of had a very bad result after. So it's good to see them get 2 wins in a row, build something up, build some more confidence. Tony's starting to get back within the goals again and creating as well. So, no, it was a very important win for them and they deserved it. So, yeah, kudos to them as well, man.
Ivan Toney to Arsenal.
That's what they're hearing. That's what they're saying. And Cahill is not happy.
I wanted to get Cahill's instant reaction. There we go.
Sal's done it.
Every time Cahill gets this close to a bit of happiness, his club just take it away from him. It's just not fair. Cahill.
Why? Why? We finally gave up on Calvert-Lewin just to go in for Tony. Oh,
he's cheaper, isn't it?
Piss off, bruv. Oh.
Cahill's not trying to hear it.
No.
Vlahovic, Isak, Tony. Come on, bruv, man.
To be fair, though, Isak only has... I don't watch him. Apparently, he only has 5 league goals this season. That's all.
Yeah, he's been injured a lot. He's been injured a lot this season, I think.
Fair. That's fair enough.
I don't know. Tony's a weird one. He's playing out of his skin right now. I mean, I don't no idea if he could cut it at Arsenal, but he's coming to the Premier League late. Could he do a bit of a Jamie Vardy and be consistently scoring for the next few years? Because Eriksen's come in and now he's got a bit of supply. He's like on fire out of absolutely nowhere.
He is, and he definitely needs to leave Brentford because from what we see on social media, he clearly doesn't like Brentford.
We hear us, so yeah, bro. He just
clearly doesn't like Brentford.
Oh man,
good. Yeah, man. You got to love it. I do. He knows he's better than that side. He knows he is. He's got the talents, but So to be fair, you got to try. You got to shoot your shot, man. See if anybody's watching.
Yeah, even Tony, Kane, Ronaldo, all on 12 goals this season.
Fair play to him.
Yeah,
fair play to him.
Fair play to him. It's
more than like Cahill.
What's that?
I'm slowly convincing Cahill.
Hey, he's better than Lacazette. So what can I say?
He shoots.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm just going to read this out for the people under Conte's Tottenham's disappointment in November. Tottenham have scored as many goals as Arsenal has for the entire season in the league, and Conte joined in November. Lacazette is a criminal. Anyway, please continue.
Wow, I did not know that.
That is terrifying. That is terrifying.
I can believe it as well at the same time.
So there's another star I wanted to say, but since we moved on from Arsenal, but Brighton.
No, go for it.
Brighton have never won in April since they've come into the Premier League.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Random one.
That's the most random stat. That's crazy. Tottenham have scored more in the last 3 games than Arsenal have in the past 13. Jesus Christ. Good evening, Murray.
1-0 to the Arsenal, though, isn't it? except when we get battered 3-0 and 2-1. Hey, is what it
Shall we go to the game?
Let's go to the game. Let's get some excitement into this bloody puck. Into both of us, into the hosts. Let's go. 2-2, Manchester City, Liverpool goals from KDB, Diogo Jota, Jesus, Sadio, Mane. We'll come to you, Daniel. Now, I might say this is a disappointing one for Liverpool because they are having City. I mean, to be fair, both teams were there for the taking, but with the players that you have up top, you should have took this one.
This result is so weird because I feel like whatever opinion people say is the right one. You can say it's disappointing for Liverpool because now the destiny is not in our hands. We have to rely on other teams to beat Man City. And Man City can easily win the next 7 games. Like, it's not inconceivable to think that.
Yeah, don't count on us. I'm just saying that.
But you could also say it's a good result for Liverpool because if an honest Liverpool fan will say we do not deserve to draw that game. City deserved to win that game. At halftime, it should have been 4-1. Yes, we came back.
Oh yeah.
Half. The second half was more even, but the game is 90 minutes. And over the course of the whole 90 minutes, City were the better team. They created the better chances. And even in that second half, Mars could have won it at the end. So I feel like, yes, before the game, a win was needed. But as the game went on, we take the draw because we didn't lose. And if we would have lost that game, for me, the title is done because City had to drop points in 2 games, and I can't see them doing it. I can see them maybe doing it once, but I can't see them doing it twice. So I'll take the draw and run after that first 45.
What about you, Sam? You happy with that analysis?
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think yesterday after the game I felt really mixed because going into it I just really didn't want to lose. I still wanted it to be in our hands. However the game went and whatever the performance, but actually the more I sort of reflect on it today and sort of watching some of the chances back, we should have won that game twice over, really. I mean, there was so many opportunities. Obviously the Sterling one which was just offside, that that is what it is, but the amount of chances around that, Mahrez obviously at the end just got caught in 2 minds, really. He hit the post as well with that free kick. I think Sterling had at least 1 or 2 opportunities, kind of one-on-one, which the first one, Alisson made a brilliant save. So yeah, there was more than enough chances, just opportunities, missed cutbacks, pullbacks. So many times we got in and around that Liverpool high line, really. And Liverpool sort of did what they're really good at. They don't have to play well for the full 90 minutes. They play in spells, and they are brutally clinical when they get any chances. And yeah, to come out and just sort of catch us cold that second half was a bit of a sickener. But it's going to be interesting to see at the end of the season how much these games against Liverpool cost us, because I feel like we should have won both of them. I feel like we're the better team at Anfield, and I feel like we're the better team in this one. But it's been so close between the 2 sides. Maybe, and how we play as well, how both sides play, is such a high quality game of football. That maybe 2-2 and 2 brilliant games across the season kind of is fair in that way. Sums up how good both teams are and how nip and tuck it is between the 2. The main positive for me was the performance of De Bruyne, because I feel like he's back to near his best, or playing as good as he can play at the moment at the age that he is, going into his 30s now. And I feel like he's someone who could put the team on his back and drive this team now for the next 7 games, because he was phenomenal in this game. 3 goals in a week for him. And yeah, we're going to the Atletico game. I'm flying out on Wednesday morning to watch it, so that'll be good. Out to Madrid, so I'm hoping he puts in another good performance and takes us into the semis. So yeah, we're playing better than we were before the international break. I feel like we needed that. We lost a bit of momentum after Palace. Liverpool coming in 1 point. We're playing really, really well. Now I feel like it's a little bit more even. And yeah, the most important thing was it to keep it in our hands, which we've done.
I mean, Coach, talking from a coach's point of view, to go into halftime leading 2-1 and then to instantly be, like Sam said, pegged back straight away by Sadio Mane with a fantastic goal. I think the build-up play for that one was absolutely superb, to be fair, to Manchester City. But yeah, that's got to be frustrating for anybody, especially Pep.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's not what you want. I mean, firstly, yeah, like you said, the goal was fantastic. The pass from Salah was sublime. Gotta say that pass was sublime. But no, you're right. Look, I think during the game, I think you could count many moments where you could question the defending from both sides. I think both sides tried to press, and at times they pressed very well. But when that press was broken, it just took one pass to get in behind the defense of either side, and that in itself was a problem. Look, you could say, because of the teams are both of high quality, maybe that's why it's a lot more easier, because you don't see that regularly. Maybe on City side you don't see that so regularly because they have a lot more control of the ball. They like to pass bit by bit. With Liverpool, there has been times this season where, even though they've won games because their quality is so much higher, you can also question times where the defending has been a bit questionable from all of the back 4. It's not just one person in particular or 2. It's sometimes they just caught maybe sleeping. I think there's one situation where a ball got played through to Cancelo, and it was sort of like the defense was just very flat-footed. It's like they almost didn't feel like there was any danger whatsoever, and there was one pass over the top, and suddenly they're on their bike coming back. And even though they recovered, the point being, you don't want it to be that simple for a team of City's quality. If it wasn't Cancelo and it was maybe someone else that's a bit more, dangerous going forwards, that would have been more of a problem. But that was one of many. But we've seen the same thing as well. No, you don't want to concede, but I think the goals they conceded, I think for both sides, I think only 2 of them they can be disappointed with. I think Trent will be upset that he didn't, sort of track or go with Jesus for that goal, maybe just to unsettle him a little bit more, because he did sort of like go with him for a second and it completely stopped. Like it was very odd. And Jota's goal, just
God from the greatest right back of all time. How dare you? How dare you?
You gotta get Daniel started soon.
That's what I'm hoping to get.
And
for a bit of context, the last time I came on here, it was literally like a back and forth about Trent. And then ever since, it's been like 3 months. I think like twice a week, I'll send them clips of another right back on Twitter.
At first, it was just like Reece James, and then it started becoming every right back possible. What is going on here? And Jota goal, the reason why I say they should be disappointed with the Jota goal is because I feel it was a lot of ball watching. I feel like they didn't really sense any sort of danger in the box, and everyone was just following the ball rather than.
And the keeper.
That was poor. Yeah, Edison was poor for that one.
Poor for that as well. It's a pressure situation, but you gotta for this high level of the game where you two are both going for the title. It's those little things that made a difference. But anyway, look, it was a high quality game of football. 2 very, 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 very great teams. Just to see where they go from here, really. I said if City don't lose the game, I think they're going to win the title. But, every team has it in them to lose points out of nowhere. So,
yeah, definitely.
I'm going to call
it's going to be, it's going to be so tight. What was interesting for me in this game is that we played a lot more like Liverpool than we usually do.
Yeah,
we played a lot more direct.
Yeah.
Like usually for City, especially recently, last sort of 18 months, we control games by just passing. And we did that for a period, I think, after the first 15 minutes of the second half, when Liverpool came out and they were really threatening. I think Salah had that shot, which was deflected just wide. I think Jota had a chance as well, which Edison saved. So for about 15 minutes, Liverpool were really kind of cutting through us. And then we had to sort of get the passing going and get a bit more control. But for the sort of 75% of the game, we were playing direct, long balls in behind, time and time again. We had our 3 most direct forwards on the pitch, really. Foden, Jesus and Sterling with the most pace. So that was the clear game plan. And considering we actually tried to make it more of a basketball game than we usually do, which doesn't usually suit us against Liverpool, I feel like our defenders 1v1 for the most part were excellent, actually. I think they had to be super aggressive. I think Liverpool's front 3, for the, they're not the biggest, but they're just their physical strength, especially like Mane and Salah, to hold the ball for their size against those sort of defenders is incredible. So we had to be so aggressive to keep them from springing counterattacks and just play. I think both sides are just really brave in how they played, because there is so much space in behind, so much quality of the players playing the ball. But yeah, both teams were just not really given an inch and trying to win it right until the last minute, not even settling for a draw. So yeah, just I think a lot of the fans between Liverpool and City actually have noticed quite a lot before and since the game, actually fairly respectful from considering we're going for everything at each other pretty much for everything this season. FA Cup semi-final next week. It's been kind of a mutual respect, shall we say, of how good the 2 teams are right now.
Yeah, no flares and bullying the players on the bus this time. But it ain't Anfield, I guess.
No,
that's the reason.
We didn't smash up their coach, so no, it's all good.
Yeah, man. Daniel, Salah. I might get a bit of heat for this one, but not been the greatest since his returns from AFCON, and since the contract situation is starting to get some press attention. What's your takes on Salah after the AFCON?
No, he has been good. I would say he came on against Leicester. He was all right then. There was another game where he was all right. But no, you're totally right. Salah has not been good since he's come back. Funnily enough, I was very happy with how he played in the second half because he got that from Mane, and every time he got the ball, he was skipping past Cancelo a bit more. I'm just like, this is the Salah that I know. But for somebody that wants the money that he wants, which fair play to him, I'm not going to get onto him with what he's done with Liverpool, with his stats, the amount of time he scores 20 plus goals, fair enough. But we're going for 4 trophies now, and the fact that in the business end of the season, you're not our star forward, that takes away a lot from his argument that he should be getting a lot more than the rest of the players. So he needs to fix up now, because if he doesn't, then FSG have the bigger bargaining power in the contract talks. But I want him to sign because he's been brilliant. I think he's a physical specimen. He doesn't get injured. He always plays. It doesn't seem like he's slowing down in terms of his physical ability. So I want him to stay, but he needs to step up, because if we're going to win trophies, we need more of what he was doing in the second half.
Here's the question: City treble or Liverpool quadruple? What would you prefer, Koja?
Oh, wait, what did this guy ask me? What the? What did you just ask me?
Roger did not expect that. He spun.
You know what is, yeah? The reason why I'm spinning is because I actually didn't realize this was a reality. I completely forgot that City was still in the FA Cup, Champions League, and they're top, obviously. Oh God, kill, man.
It would be the treble as well, not some Mickey Mouse one.
Kill, you know what? Ask me in like 2 months' time.
2 months' time when the season's done, yeah.
Yeah. I have no answer right now. Like whatever happens at the end of the season, I have to stomach it. In I have no choice. Damn it. Right now, I'm kind of hoping it goes like this: City, do up Liverpool in the FA Cup, so that if Liverpool are to go and win the Champions League, they can say it's a treble, but it's not the FA Cup. It's the Carabao / Worthington /
I don't care.
But I care. We won the treble. You can have 8
99 in the 20th century. We're in the 21st century.
Rotted.
Number 2, I still got my treble. Number 2, yeah.
Bro, he says millennium. He's talking about millennium. What's going on,
bruv? I was born. We'll take it. Number 2, yeah. Number two. I'm hoping, even though it's not going to happen, but I'm hoping that Atletico can go and do their juju and somehow win the game against City. But more than anything, I actually predicted Real Madrid to win the Champions League at the beginning of the season. So if they can just be nice, if Benzema can still do his thing and, carry that club to another Champions League, I'll be a happy man. One of them's winning the league, innit? I'm firm in that. Chelsea or Palace are holding smoke in the final. I'm already firm that right now. So as long as one of them don't win the Champions League, I think I can survive. But I can't lie. If they win the Champions League, I might run back to Spain.
Oh man. I mean, guys, let's talk about that fact. I mean, Pep, there's no hiding it. He needs to win a Champions League, and every year for the past 5 years, it's been like, oh, not 5 years, maybe 3 years. It's been like, no, this is Pep's best opportunity to win the Champions League, and he just doesn't cross the line. I mean, is it going to happen this season?
Don't know. It feels like another good opportunity, I suppose. While the Premier League is as strong as it is, wouldn't be difficult to see another all English final again this time around. I don't know. It's tricky. I feel like City. I feel like he's come at a time where City have had to grow into the competition. I feel like Chelsea had to do it, United had to do it, and I think Liverpool, with their success in Europe as a club, I feel like it's something that you have to kind of grow into in general, really, no matter who the manager and the players are. I feel like it's a different competition which has this, I wouldn't say elements of luck, but like fine margins where, literally anything can happen in these knockout games, and some of them are just completely crazy. So I feel like a lot of people say he needs to win it with City. Obviously, he's already got two in his back pocket with Barcelona. I don't think he thinks as much like that anymore than perhaps he used to. I feel like he's a bit more measured in that sense, but he's taken us to our first final, which I think is a kind of an achievement which was brushed under the carpet because we lost it. We've kind of broken down that barrier, really.
There's no prizes for second place. Trust me, I know there's no prizes for second place.
I know. So maybe, this is a kind of the opportunity to do it, the era to do it. I think with the team that we've got. But it's a weird one because amongst the fans, I'd say the majority would still rather have the Premier League over the Champions League.
In cities,
yeah, definitely. I feel like some fans are still, I mentioned the club warming to it. I think some City fans are still warming to the Champions League as well in a lot of ways through their sort of hate of UEFA and just the standard of refereeing sometimes in the competitions is crazy. So yeah, I think it's difficult because for me, I feel like winning the Premier League over 38 games, it brings out all your weaknesses and shows all your consistencies and all your strengths. But in the Champions League, you don't have to be the best team in the competition to win it, like Chelsea showed last season. So it's kind of a funny one to judge on, but we need to get it ticked off at some point, I suppose. And I can't see City really going away soon, but at the same time, this is our been our sort of era of the last 10 years, really. I think 6 Premier Leagues. So we've got to make it count at some point. And for me, Pep's still the best manager in the world, so he's got to deliver it.
Fair play. Now, I wasn't even expecting that question to come up because I thought the person that answered that question just gave the dumbest answer whatsoever. But considering we have a Liverpool and a City fan here, let's ask them: is this the greatest rivalry in Premier League history? And by the way, Kojo can mute you, so I just want to remind you of that.
Good, Daniel.
I don't think it's the greatest rivalry in Premier League history.
You can continue to speak. Continue.
I think it's the greatest rivalry that I've seen. So I'm not gonna bait out my age, but I didn't physically watch the Manchester United Arsenal rivalry from start to finish. When I started watching football properly, I caught the tail end of it, and United and Arsenal weren't the teams going for the title. But obviously, there was Premier League years, and with rivalry, I feel like one thing that I didn't like about this whole argument is it's as if there's one definition of a rivalry. It really depends on what you want a rivalry to be. But what Arsenal and United had was everything. You had the quality players on the pitch. You had the hatred between the managers. The players absolutely hated each other. But as Sam said earlier on, there's mutual respect between Liverpool and Manchester City. And I feel like that's just how football is nowadays. You see it in a lot of games. Like I was watching El Clasico recently, when they were coming down the stairs, Real Madrid players and Barcelona players were dabbing each other up, talking, probably planning holidays together. But I feel like in terms of me watching the Premier League, it's clearly the best rivalry that I've seen. We just spoke about it earlier. One team can potentially win the quadruple. One team can potentially win the treble. We've never seen that ever. Like, that's a fact. We've never seen that. In terms of points accumulation, even though I don't think points accumulation is a fair representation of how good or bad a team is, but we've never seen two teams get that many points. Well, City got 100 points and 98 points, and Liverpool got 99 points the season after in 3 years. We've had 2 title races within 4 years. So it's not the best in history, but it's the best I've seen.
Fair enough. Let's go. Yeah. You can leave him unmuted. That's a fair answer. Sam, just remember, Kojo can mute you.
And the mouse right now is on the button, so we have to.
I feel like Daniel actually made a really good point and kind of took what I was going to say in terms of like it's a bit of an interpretation of the rivalry. I feel like that United Arsenal one is the fiercest rivalry. Yeah. All the players hated each other, the managers hated each other, etc. They were, pretty much battling for everything between themselves. City and Liverpool, they haven't got that same sort of animosity. There's a bit of needle there. There's a few bad tackles went in the other day, not on the same level as it was with that United and Arsenal rivalry. No red cards. You could have argued them up. Should have been 1 or 2. But I think
100%.
I think this is maybe the highest quality rivalry we've seen in terms of the consistent.
Yeah.
But I think it is. I think it is. They've pushed before this. If you got over 90 points in a Premier League season, the title was yours, and you probably won it by about 20 points. The level that these two sides have set now by getting 95 plus regularly. Whoever wins it this season probably going to have to get to 95. Both if City win every game now, they're going to finish on 95 points. We've had 99 points, 98 points, and 100 points to be able to win it between these two teams. And both teams fighting on all 3 fronts as well. And then you go back to that Arsenal United side. Haven't got all the points tally in front of me, but I think the United treble team got 79 points. There was some margin for leeway in terms of dropping points, etc. Now there just feels like there's no margin for dropping points at all. In that title race last time in 18-19, the last team to drop points was Liverpool against Everton in end of February, start of March, and neither team dropped a point until May. So this looks like it could be a similar situation. So I feel like they've definitely raised the bar. They pushed each other on to, I think, levels which people didn't really expect. I don't think. Like I said, in terms of what you need to be able to win a title these days and get that many points.
I'll just say this: it's easy to get 95 and 99, 100 points when defenders are just crap. Is what it is. I don't know. No, there's an understanding for your arguments, but obviously bias will always take over. It's always going to take over. And to be fair, even if I was unbiased in this whole situation, I'd still believe that Arsenal, Manchester United going at it for those amount of years, back and forth. Is even the chases as well. I think at some points, Arsenal were and Manchester United were 15 points clear of each other at some points, and then the fight backs came in the invincible season, of course, which is always going to be the top of my list, and then the treble season, which is always going to be the top of Kojo. I think
that's not even the best United team for me. I feel like the team that won the Champions League and the Premier League with Tevez, really, Ronaldo.
My favorite United.
That's probably I was going to say that's his favorite United side. But for many Manchester United fans, that treble side is always going to take precedence. To be fair, it's not a bad side. In fact, I'd say it's a fantastic side. That treble winning side. I mean, Beckham, Cole, and York, Sheringham was good. There's so many quality players in both teams, and I just think it's the best rivalry in history. I doubt it's ever going to
Premier League history. Let's say that, not in football history, because
no, that's a Premier League history. Football history is
as if the El Clasico didn't exist.
Yeah, no, El Clasico. 100%.
Listen, yeah, do a rivalry that hurts. That it's painful to watch, but it's so fun to watch it. Boca versus River Plate. That's war.
I didn't deep until they played at the Bernabeu. It was a couple years. I don't know when it was when they played the final on the Bernabeu. I don't watch South America, but when I saw, I was like, "Oh, that's
bro!" No matter where they go, the war follows. Listen, that was different.
That one is actual war. It's proper on site if a Boca sees a River fan. So.
Yeah, Kojo, your final thoughts.
Yeah, you know which one I'm going to say. No, I think friendly rivalry is obviously good. I think in case of, you got two teams that are battling to be the kings of the league. It's great to watch. You watch quality football. I think as I'm say a neutral. I'm really, really not a neutral. I hate both sides.
No. Complete opposite of a neutral.
Oh, very, very much. But for other people who are not hating these two clubs, it's beautiful for them to watch. And I think, but the Man United Arsenal one, you had some great games between the two where I think also Sir Ferguson and Wenger's respect for each other kind of grew as well as a whole. And then you also had the games where it became fiery. Pizza was being thrown. Fans were being shushed right in front of their faces. The midfield beefs for apparently no reason. It just started. They say something wrong.
I thought you were a nice guy.
I was going there next. Starting in the tunnel. Because Gary Neville was opening his mouth too much like he does right now. It's just for me, I think that just had like the total package. You had good times, you had reckless times, but it all made for crazy enjoyment in the Premier League. And I think also from a media aspect, the video packages back then made it look so dramatic. Like they gave it like proper Stone Cold versus The Rock WrestleMania.
My brother was Stone Cold versus The Rock.
Yeah,
I think he tried to fight Van Nistelrooy on the pitch in front of everybody.
Exactly.
It was a Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yeah, they gave it all that hype, and I think with the City and Liverpool one, there is a lot of hype for it now, of course. But the video package they even gave before the game, it was sort of like games against other teams where they were showing their quality, and I'm like, you guys have had fantastic games against each other, and some of them have actually been fiery as well. So, add those in there because that gives it that extra spice for the fan watching. Say, hey, you know what? This maybe it's not as friendly as they're making it out to be. This game has had some.
It's the PG era. That's why, because like if this rivalry happened back in the day, they would have milked up the Joe Gomez versus Raheem Sterling beef that happened not too long ago.
Oh, when they picked him up.
Yeah, when they picked him up. I remember there was one season. I forgot which season it was when I think either Salah or Van Dijk won Player of the Year, and they asked Sterling who he voted for, and Sterling made a snide comment as if like he wouldn't dare vote for a Liverpool player, just stuff like that. But it's the PG era; they don't wanna promote beef, which is what it is.
Yeah. This game just gone has been the most mutual, respectful game. I think. If you would ask me 12 months ago, probably might have been a different answer, but it might be a bit of recency bias. But this definitely feels like it's been the most, sort of fair, least animosity between the two. Because there's definitely been some games where, Liverpool are getting on for Man United levels of hate for myself and the City fan base. But it's not. It's not. It doesn't seem like that at the moment. Maybe I feel different if they pip us to the league at the end of the season, but the game
out the window.
yeah, exactly. But the game yesterday, it kind of felt one of the least fiery ones for a while, really.
It was the embrace at the end between Pep and Klopp that probably did it for a lot of people.
Hey, listen, that's the way I hugged Cahill after I saw him after lockdown. I was like, hold on. Man. No. Hey,
Imagine Virgil and De Bruyne will talk about like, oh, how's your kid do that?
Oh yeah,
the same school. They go to the parent teacher meeting.
Yeah, man. See, that's what you don't want that from your football rivals. You want some passion. You want some anger. You want pizza thrown. That's what you want. Not swapping cards at the end. Come on now. That's for losers. But anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining.
It's funny how they said that's for losers, but we're talking about the trophies we can win while they're crying about the teams this weekend. But let me not speak too much.
Hey,
we're reminiscing about 25 years ago.
You know what? I'm just gonna.
That guy said 20. Oh, he said 25 years ago. Stop it. Hey, it's 22.
He's still laughing.
Years ago.
22. Sorry, 22.
I did not even clock
that. Sam said 22, so he gets some time out as well.
Oh,
wow. Oh, goodness. These guys said when you were 7 years old, that's when you were having rivalry. And you know what?
He said we're having quarter-life crises. Man. Blimey. I was going to finish this show as well. Jesus. Anyway, let's finish the show. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's go to where they can find you. Sam, we'll start with you. Where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, just jump on Twitter there. Got my personal one, swhiteman77, and then we've got the Never a Foul Feed the Goat channel as well. So go and check that out on YouTube. Any City fans watching, hit a like and subscribe on that one. And we're going to be jumping on shortly to do our own pod in a minute. So we'll catch you there shortly.
There you go. Nice. Daniel, where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, just jump on Twitter. My the podcast, No Agendas podcast, is there. I don't troll other teams as much as I've done today. This is just my free day. Follow us there. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Kojo, where can they find us?
Of course, their links are in the bio as well. So we always do just hit them and follow them on Twitter and their YouTube channel as well. I think I've got Sam's one. Daniel, if you've got a YouTube channel, send that to me later on. But yes, Free Midfield podcast here on YouTube. Number 3 in Midfield podcast, the whole thing. And then you have Free Midfield on all the audios. That's your SoundCloud, your Spotify, Apple Music. Number 3 again, and of course, all your socials again. Number 3 in Midfield, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok. 3 in Midfield.
There you have it. This is another episode of the Match Report. Good night.